everybody, this is Skeet.
Masha and Mikey over here.
Rock and Roll Roundtable.
Ah, yeah, presented by our good friends once again at Moshman Media.
This week, June concert reviews.
Yeah, so a few days ago, second week of June here, we both went on concert excursions to new places. For me, it was a bunch of new bands I hadn't seen. For you, it was an old favorite, but in a new venue, in a new city, and so why not talk about those today? Just give our grades on them, how good they sounded, the venues, all that good stuff. So yours was one nighter, so mine's two. So I'll give you the honors of going first today.
Yeah, and I'm sporting the merch from the show.
Yeah,
Yep. So, anyways, went and saw Dokken with Don Dokken and special guest George Lynch.
yeah,
So we went to the pavilion in Lima. Okay, first time I've ever been there, and it looks like an old. It's a brand new building, but it looks like how to describe it, like an airplane hangar type building.
oh, okay, that's
Okay,
interesting. Yeah,
so anyways, uh, hold on. Sorry about that. Anyways, it's a big field that's got two sections. So you've got a front section and you've got a back section. Open field. So of course, uh, my buddy scored us tickets. And on the tickets, it had rows and seats. And guess what? No
there was nothing.
seats whatsoever. It was empty field. People brought their lawn chairs, which was actually very cool,
Yeah,
except for the dumbasses, which would be us, who did not bring lawn chairs. So they did have some seats available. So if you wanted to grab a seat, you could grab a seat. We got like the last two seats between three of us. No problem. So I'm kind of setting the scene here. It was comparable to a mid-sized venue. No problem. Everybody's got their lawn chairs chilling out. They've got the back section also. So it was full but not packed.
okay,
So there was quite a few people. There was still a lot of people in the back section. Uh, it was kind of chill. I was actually impressed for, it's downtown Lima. So I think they're trying to do like downtown renovation stuff like some of the area downtowns have been doing.
right, yeah.
Try to make it friendly for people to come down. It wasn't bad. It was kind of nice. New, like I said, I think they just finished it up to get ready for this season.
Yeah, I think I did read about that place. I think it was built in 23, but they started doing events like this year. So they kind of working towards it. So,
Okay, so a newer venue, cool. Get settled in. They've got this fucking band, and they weren't bad. Johnny something or other. I mean, this is how.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like, okay, cool. Everybody's ready for Dokken. Pretty much, they come out. They play a solid set. Nothing real memorable. Kind of blues based, 3-piece. The fucking drummer thinks he's Zoltan or some shit.
Oh God.
So he's every fucking song, he's Mr. fucking drumsticks and flipping shit and throwing it up in the air and catching it and missing a fucking beat. And all right, so they
Yeah.
play for like 45, 50 minutes. And again, it wasn't awful. It was good. They did a good job. But Mr. fucking Ego on the drumsticks, and I hope you see this, dude. You're not the fucking show. You're not the fucking show.
Yeah, that sucks. I hate when they do that.
And the best part was when he shows his true prima donna self. They were gonna do the last fucking song, and either they didn't end it the way he wanted it to go, or something, and he started bitching at the band members
Oh God.
during the fucking show. And
That'd have been his last show, but
I'm like, fucking do
yeah,
this, dude. So, and then they played like an extended some. I don't fucking know. At that point, I'm aggravated.
yeah,
I'm going, you know, you could have just put on a decent show. People, enjoy your show. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Fuck it. Fuck it. At this point, I'm like, this dude. You just, as far as I'm concerned, you ruined your set. Good job,
yeah. For the
asshole.
whole band, the whole
For the whole
band
band,
got
yeah. And
bad because of you.
they were all right guys. You know what I'm saying? They were
Yeah,
playing their songs, trying to get noted. Anyways, so finally they get off the fucking stage. So I'm already aggravated. All right, let's get to fucking docket. So local radio station comes out, announces the band. Cool. And Don comes out. So Don Dokken is fucking 73.
yeah. He's up
Okay.
there.
So we have seen Dokken many a time since the fucking 80s on up. Mid 90s, early 2000s. We went to a show, you and I did, and a couple other people, and caught Dokken at the fucking Triangle.
Yeah, yeah,
And the original lineup was at that show, but here we are. Don 73 comes out, and it would be what you expect, a guy that's 73 and not getting around the greatest anymore coming on out. Everybody's
yeah,
pumped and excited. Okay, cool, cool, cool. His band is excellent. Okay, Don's singing everything real calm and at one level.
yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's what thought might
Yes.
happen for this.
So, but he's smiling. I got some real great shots at the concert. Probably about a third of the way through the show, I'm like, fuck this. And I just got up and went up with some of the other people that was gathered around the stage. And I got pretty close. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Nice.
And he's up there, and his bass player is doing all the high parts.
Yeah.
So you got this younger guy, maybe 30s.
That's what I thought too when I seen him. Yeah.
His lead guitarist is probably in his 40s and maybe into his 50s. Drummer is maybe late 50s, early 60s. And they're doing a great job.
Right.
And Don's pulling out the fucking hits, and he does a couple originals or newer fucking
No.
songs, newer
Yeah.
Dokken songs, and it in true fashion from like the last the record the one of the later recordings he did where he's not singing the highs anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So if you remember hearing a little bit of that album where you're kind of like, well, it's
Yeah.
passable, but he's just not doing it. Probably about midway through the set, the guys are screwing around doing like musical stuff, so he can go take a break. And he's back here and he's fired up a fucking cigarette. He's got his fucking drink over by the side of the stage, but he's smiling. He's in a good mood. The fucking crowd they're really cool to him. So it made me feel good that, this, it's probably going to be his last time around. I think this is probably
Yeah.
his last tour. But he's real positive and he's telling some stories, which kind of, there's a little bit of a lull where he's kind of telling some stories in between songs. And there's a couple people in the crowd and they're getting a little rowdy and, oh, come on, sing. And I'm like, just shut the fuck up, let the man. You know what I mean? But he's
Yeah.
smiling and he's positive, and I'm like, dude, I know you're not hitting the shit, but he went out there and he's having problems getting around, but he still put on the fucking show.
That's good. Yeah. Now,
So
did he have problems with what I've always seen of Dokken lately was he kind of sings it off rhythm with the beat.
uh,
Like, how he used to sing them right on the beat. Now it's kind of off and it drops down even sometimes. He drops his voice down.
yeah, yep, he did a lot of that, but I mean, he hit all the fucking Dokken standards in my dreams,
Yeah.
all that shit. So
Yeah.
as far as the song selection goes, it was fucking the best of Dokken, and I think he threw in like 2 or 3 newer songs,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So
Well, they got a new album out. He's probably trying to get some traction for that. I get that.
exactly, and get to the venue, and I didn't see a merch tent or nothing at first, so I had to go up, and I'm like, hey, where's the fucking merch booth? Oh well, back here in the back, and there I did finally see the tent. Got my fucking shirt, so I'm like, okay, everything's good in the world now. I got my Dokken shirt for the show. We're good. We're good.
Yeah.
So everybody's fired up, and he's belting them out, and then George comes out towards the ends of the set,
Oh, okay. So he
and of
didn't play the
course,
whole thing.
so then the fucking energy goes up even more. So everybody's in a good fucking mood, fired up, giving Don some fucking love. Like I said, I was impressed. I was happy. For the most part, everybody was real positive and cheering and singing along. And then George comes out and does 3 fucking songs.
Sure.
So I was expecting at least one more song, but that was kind of wrapping the fucking night up. And
That's
that
a
was,
shock. That's a shock to me. I thought George Lynch was playing with him. I didn't know he was coming on for 3 songs. I thought it was a
yes.
George
So
Lynch night.
he came out and played 3 songs with Don, and they were talking before he went up, and you could see him. It seemed like everybody was getting along real good. So that was cool. Seems like the old arguments of the past are kind of gone. They made
That's cool.
amends. Yeah. So they were smiling and kind of joking on the side and shit before he got up. So and pretty much that was how they ended the show.
Mr. Scary?
No, no,
No, no, Mr.
no, no,
Scary. Damn, damn.
no.
That's what I was hoping they would get. What they end with, if you remember,
Oh Jesus Christ!
like like till the living end or something.
Oh God, no,
Maybe no.
no, no. Uh, the lead guitar player took most of the fucking popular Dokken songs. That's why I was like going,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So there was no, he did not do Mr. Scary. I was disappointed about that, but
Yeah,
so it was kind of, he just came out and played, and honest to God, at that point, it was, I was pleased, but I was still kind of disappointed.
yeah.
If you
That
know
was
what
the
I'm saying.
scary part. Yeah, that would have been the scary part for me going to that with which docket am I going to get? And I would have probably been real upset when George Lynch wasn't out there at the beginning because it was broadcast with George Lynch. I thought George Lynch was doing the show, so that would have
Well,
been like,
so I know I've seen other shows in the past year or so that had George coming out and playing.
oh, okay, that's I didn't see those.
So I already knew that he was going to come out and do up to 4 songs. So that's why I was kind of like going, okay, at least we should get some.
Vintage George Lynch. Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
I think probably the highlight. I think he did Heaven Comes Down.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool to see again. Yeah,
So you know what I'm
with
saying.
George Lynch.
So that was, I was like, okay, I'm fucking good. I'm good.
Yeah.
That was a good George Lynch song to have him fucking come out and play. And honestly, it was just so many mixed emotions with kind of dealing with this is the last doc and they hit all the good stuff. And I was, I was concentrating a little bit more on getting some good pictures with George and Don in the scene.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That'd be cool.
So
Yeah.
it was, I could probably pull it up and someone will have the fucking set list, but I was
Oh,
just so caught up in the fucking moment of getting
oh,
picked,
absolutely.
and George is out there playing, and Don's singing and stuff. I was just like, so forgive me for not getting the fucking details.
Oh, no, no, that's fine. I was just curious.
Yeah,
It's one
yeah.
of my curiosities I always have. But yeah, as far as the the venue, just so I know for myself while we're here real quick, is parking and everything cool? I mean, is it a pain in the ass to get to?
Uh, it's downtown. We found a decent spot on the street, like not
Oh,
even a
okay.
block away.
So they don't have like a parking place you go to pay and all
Not.
that.
I think
Okay.
there was like a lot, and that was pretty well full. And we cruised through that, and then we saw that spot on the street, and it wasn't even a block away.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
So if you
Not
could
bad at
find a
all.
spot right there on the street, close to this parking area they did have right across the street, you should be okay. But I would suggest getting there a little early for your show to get a spot.
I would probably go a couple hours early and just walk downtown and do something because I like to have a spot. I mean, I don't get
Yeah.
in a hurry. I won't get in a hurry to leave or anything like that. So yeah, if I go to that particular venue, I'll know.
So I would
I can expect.
say I would not mind catching another show there.
Okay,
So,
that's good.
so it's
Yeah,
a nice newer venue. Again, take your fucking lawn chair,
yeah. Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
they had beer and fucking water and all that stuff. So
Oh,
you get a chance to catch a show there. I know Slaughter was what, maybe
yeah, they're
this
next month. Yeah,
next
like
month.
the 10th of July or something. I think is that show. So yeah,
So that
I
would it
thought
would
about it.
probably be It would probably be worth it if you got the front lawn seats. So if you could score some front lawn, get a good spot, you're fucking gold.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Very cool. So
So
you grade that
Pangles Pavilion in Lima
Bengals
is
Pavilion. Yeah.
Pangles Pavilion.
I think it's part of the VA, the Veterans Hall there. I think that's part of it, but it's a outside auditorium now. They have shows all year in that Veterans place. A
Okay.
lot of big namers come through there, but I think they're trying to do an outside venue. So cool. I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad it'd be something good for that city, and easier for me to go to. I mean, it's literally 15 minutes, 15 miles away. So not a bad gig. I should check that out.
Yeah.
So what you grade that at? What'd you grade that at? Overall experience?
Overall experience, including the show,
Yeah,
I'm
everything.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give it a B, leaning more towards a B minus. I mean, go to see Dokken, and you're not gonna get the Dokken of old.
Right.
So
Yeah.
go in it with your eyes open and kind of enjoy Don's probably last time around. And
Yeah.
like I said,
Absolutely.
he was real positive, and he was still singing, but he was not hitting any of the high stuff. So much love to Don. He went out, did the whole set, took a couple little breaks. But for 70 fucking 3, dude, it's like
Yeah. God love him. It's like
you got to give him
some guy.
respect. And he was out there and smiling at the fans, and you know what I'm saying,
Oh, good.
let the guy
Yeah.
go out in style.
Yeah. I'll always love the music regardless. It's like with the shows, I know they're going to falter when they get older. Everybody does. Unless
Well,
you're
yeah,
a freak of nature like a Michael Sweet or a Halford or somebody that
yeah.
can keep that high part, it's like, it's going to come down some. So, yeah, that's good, man. I'm glad that Dawkins still rocking.
And
This is very cool.
his fucking band is still top notch.
Yeah, I think it's the same band that they had when I 7 years ago, 6 years ago when I saw them. I think it's the same band. That bass player that dude can
Yes,
sing, man.
yes,
And
and he did. He knocked it out of the park. So that was, that was the saving grace, was his fucking band was tackling all the classic Dokken, and just so it sounds just like fucking Dokken of old until Don starts singing.
yeah, till Dot sings out.
Until Don
Yeah,
sings,
that happens.
and again, like I said, he's fired up a fucking lung dart during the fucking show over on the side, just kind of enjoying life and joking around with people. So
Hey,
again,
that's all right.
he's enjoying his last go around.
Cool. That's very cool, man.
So now this is what I want to know. What the fuck were you doing last weekend?
I was up in enemy territory
Okay.
in western Michigan, and there was a festival called Rock the Country. Now, this is a festival put on by Kid Rock. He's
Okay.
the leader guy. So when you go to a concert by Kid Rock, you're going to expect a few different types of music, right?
Yes.
You had country, you had rap, and you had rock. So I was a little worried about being in that part of Michigan. I don't know much about it, but we had to travel like 45 minutes to get to the venue every day from our hotel. And I'll be honest, this festival is like there's like 10 shows a year. That's all they do. They go to small towns and that usually don't have a big show like that, and they kind of rent out an expo center like this was or a fairground. And so the people there aren't ready for it in most cases. So you're talking about this place I went, it's about a third maybe of the size of our hometown. It is not very big,
Okay.
7,000 people.
Okay.
So it's luckily it's a little bit out in the boonies. So we get there, and I'll tell you the rules. The bad thing about the whole thing was the rules changed kind of fluidly. It was supposed to open the doors at a certain time, and then the second day it didn't know it opened earlier. So we got there thinking we were going to get in just like we did the day before and all that. But anyway, so we go to this place and roll right in, and I'm a naive guy when it comes to certain things.
Okay.
So we bought advanced parking because it said, you buy advanced parking for this gig, blah, blah, blah. So we go in there, and the wife called preferred parking, is what she said there was Michigan State Police helping these guys control
Okay.
this stuff.
Okay.
So we say, yeah, we're preferred parking. Well, in the state of Michigan, preferred parking is ADA parking, which is adult disabilities and all that. So they let us into basically the handicap lot.
Oh,
So we got right in up front. We moved right over to got in line for the doors to open. It was supposed to open at 2, but the first guy was going to start at 2. So they switched it as the rules start flowing here. They switched it to 1:30. So we get in real quick, bit bop bang, go in there, get our merch, get front row of the chair zone. They had a chair zone that you could bring your chairs in the VIP section.
okay.
So we get front row VIP chair section. Life is good, but it's colder than hell. It was a lot colder. I didn't plan on. I had shorts on. I'm freezing my ass off. It starts to rain a little bit. I'm like, oh my god. But I'll get on to. So the first guy was there were 7 bands each day. I'm only going to hit on really the rock ones
Okay.
because we do a rock show. But there was a country singer songwriter. He did a good job. And there was a couple other singer songwriter country guys. Then there was a rap group called Trick Trick. They're from Detroit. They were funny. They were hilarious. They got the crowd going. And then another country guy. And then it was the Yin Yang Twins. It's another rap group. Then you had the mighty Travis Tritt. I will talk about Travis Tritt a little bit because he's one of the country guys I really like. Fantastic show he put on. I mean, the sound was great. You had the big side banners you could watch onto, but we were literally 75 yards from the stage, probably. And Travis did a great job. And then they come out the headliner for night one. And I had to say going in, I wouldn't hold out a lot of hope for these guys. But they come out, Nickelback comes out.
Okay.
And man, they steamrolled through all their hits. They were having fun with the crowd. They gave stuff away to first time concert kids. They did a gender reveal on stage. Somebody asked them to do a gender reveal. So Chad did that. But it was about an hour and a half, but no BS. They played all their hits. I mean, you couldn't ask for the only song they didn't play that I was perturbed was they did not play Bottoms Up. So that was kind of odd for me, but they played all the other good ones. And they started with Come Right Out the Gate with Animals. And then they ended with Burn It to the Ground. Solid set. I mean, it was surprising in a good way. I mean, I didn't have a lot of love for Nickelback in the past, but I started listening to more of them and was kind of anxious to see if they would put on a good show. Absolutely, they did 100%. So that was really the only rock band of night one, though. It was really
Okay.
kind of leaning country the first day, and
All
then
right.
the second day would have additional. So anyway, we go back to and I will say this: we went back to the hotel room, and like I said, a 45-minute drive because we bought the package.
Yeah.
Nothing else around the place. So we end up staying in a pretty shady part of Michigan. And the hotel's like a behind a liquor store. I mean, it's sketchy. And I'm not a good in big cities, you know. And this is a big
Yeah.
city. It's a suburb of Grand Rapids. And so I'm nervous already. And we go in there, and it's kind of a weird trip, but it's like, I don't know why they put that as a package together that far away, but maybe there wasn't many options. So yeah, that was my little. I was a little nervous about that. I mean, it ended up being okay. Nothing major happened, but I was still nervous. So we get up to go day two,
Okay. So
and
before
we
before you
get there.
go on to day two, did the Nickelback show? Did they do pyro? Did they have anything?
Very
Or
little.
did they just come out and just fucking rocked everybody and killed it?
Yeah, well, they had the screen behind them. You know how sometimes they play movie like things.
Yeah.
They had that and very limited pyro. I mean, they might have had a couple shoot off at the beginning, and I don't remember anything else being on there. They were pretty businesslike, but not like just running through the set and not talking. They were stopping in between talking and stuff.
Okay.
But it was just for Nickelback. I mean, like I said, I wasn't a huge fan before. Not it didn't change me that much, but I mean they're solid. I give them their due. They are better than I thought, and they were pretty good in concert. I mean, it was uh, business, but they still had their time to goof off and screw around and stuff. So
Okay. So
it
it
was
was it
just,
was real solid. Fucking
yeah, it was solid. It showed the last two. Travis Tritt and Nickelback definitely won the day on that.
okay.
Now, like I said, the rap groups were a lot of fun, but I didn't know any of their songs, of course. But they were fun. They were all interacting with the crowd. The crowd behind us was huge. I mean, you're talking 30,000 people in a
Oh my
field,
god.
basically. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and we're like I said, 75 feet away because we got VIP and we were in chair zone. So, yeah, anyway, we go back the second day and we go approximately the same time because they start letting people in at noon to park, right? Well, they changed the rules before we got there. So we get there at 11:30, quarter to 12, like going to wait in line like we did the first day. No, we just zoomed right up because the parking lot was full almost already. It's like, okay, who changed the rules and didn't tell us this?
Yeah.
But we thought, okay, it's no big deal because we're right up front here. No big deal. So we get in the line, we're going around. We dart off to park where we was yesterday, and we get set down there. Some guy on a damn gator comes up, says, "Hey, what are y'all doing here?" So what do you think we're doing? We're parking. You can't park here. I'm like, it's where we parked yesterday. Well, somebody screwed up then, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, we paid extra because I thought I did. I really thought I did. I said, I paid extra. I said, here's my ticket. I got this stuff. And my wife's like, got it on her phone. She goes, look. He goes, no, that's what everybody pays to be in advance park. I said, you didn't pay extra. He said, you got to have a thing from the DMV to be parked there. I'm like, oh my God. So he said,
Oops.
I said, what do we do? What do we do? And he goes, you got to get back in that line. That line's so we're parked about, I don't know, a fucking mile and a half from where we were the day before. And we get in the line, and I swear to God, we were about 12,000 deep at that point when we got in line. The line opens, and it goes pretty quick. I ain't going to bitch about that, but we get there, and of course, our seat we had last night ain't no way in hell. So we had to go back some in our little chair zone, quite a ways. That ended up being a fiasco because too many people brought their chairs and they didn't have enough room. It was a mess, dude. But anyway, we'll get to to the music guy. Some young country kid started this show out too. He was good, but it's like I was gonna fall asleep. And I mean, it was just every song was a love song and all that good stuff. I don't even remember his name, Hudson something. And I thought, man, this is gonna be a long day. And it's oh, by the way, the weather changed completely. So it went from 50s and raining to about 85 and bright hell bearing sun.
Yeah, I
And
saw some of
uh,
your pics. You got fucking
uh,
baked. You got
oh
baked.
man, yeah, because I didn't think to go in the shade because it's like there was a VIP lounge and all that, but I hate that kind of go in there and sit because it's like you're missing the show. But anyway, so of course we come out to old Dina Carter. If you don't remember her,
Yeah, yep.
she was second, and she did good. I mean, she was quite engaged for a country singer. And then they brought out another a guy who's pretty popular in country right now, I guess, Gavin Adcock or something like that. He was entertaining the crowd quite a bit. I mean, he was not my style of music, of course, but then Afro Man comes out, dude. I gotta
Fucking
tell you,
Afro Man, no shit.
Afro Man was there, and he comes out playing that marijuana leaf guitar he's got. And he sang basically, he was only on for like 20 minutes. He did two songs. He did his opening song that lasted about 5 minutes. And then he played, his guitar for a couple minutes, put it back. He played Then I Got High for like 15 minutes.
Oh
He
my
was just getting
god.
the crowd to go in and doing all, he added a bunch of verses for other things. But he was smoking weed. Everybody there was smoking weed on stage that was rap group or country. A couple of the country guys did. Because you got to remember, Michigan is fully legal.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. There was people smoking joints right beside the state troopers up there, and they didn't flinch, man. It's like that was a cool thing if you're really into weed in Michigan. But Afro Man got me. It's like that was pretty cool. By then, though, on a side note, by then my legs are actually in pain.
Oh fuck.
And I'm thinking, man, this ain't going to end well for me because I'm already scorching earth over here. But I said, I'm going to sucker through it. So I put, Casey, I put some sunblock on my face and my ears and stuff. I don't know why I didn't think of my legs, which would have been a good thing to do, or my arms, but I didn't. So, but we're sitting there, the chaos going on with the chairs. People are actually fighting, like not throwing punches, but arguing because you were supposed to keep a lane open for the fire hazard. Too
Yeah.
many people were in there and they just kept plopping down. Security guard finally got tired of fighting with them and said, fuck it. They left. They just left. So
Oh
there's
my
mass
god.
chaos. Yeah, I can't get in and out. So if I have to go to the bathroom, I'm going to push somebody out of my way, which I did when I had to go. I said, hey, you're going to have to make a lane. I'm not walking 10 feet behind you to get back. Well, we're just sitting here. Well, you're just going to have to sit back a little bit fucking farther because this fat man's got to go pee. And I wasn't drinking that second day because the first day I got kind of trashed. I didn't feel like drinking. It was too hot. I knew if I
Yeah.
was drinking and it was $68 for a six pack because of the prices that are
What was it?
inflated at
What?
this thing.
Repeat that, please.
Yeah, $68 I think was a six pack of 16-ounce ultras. Yeah.
Oh my
And
fucking god.
but dude, that's cheaper by a mile than Louder Than Life is. That's like half price
Oh
from what
my
Louder Than Life
god.
is. Yeah, they rape you on beer. So if you don't need to drink, and I don't have to drink that to enjoy a concert anymore. So I'm like, I just drink water. I was drinking water like a fish. And I finally had to go pee. So I pushed through that mess. And I wanted to get back before Leonard Skinner came on. You got to get back before the Skinner comes on.
Yeah.
And I got back, and Skinner's gonna come out, and they came out, dude. Sounded fabulous. just I know it's kind of a tribute band at this point. I mean, but Johnny being Ronnie's younger brother and Ricky Medlock's still in the band. He's been there since the early late 70s, early 80s. So there's two of them that are basically still in the band. And the guy we did an episode on not too long ago, the Status Quo band. Remember them?
Yeah.
Their drummer plays for Leonard Skinner. So it's kind of cool. I seen him and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cool. I think that's who it was anyway. I swear to God, that's who I thought it was. But anyway, they're playing there's every hit you can imagine. They start out with MCA, signing the deal with MCA. They started out with that, of course. And they went through Give Me Back My Bullets.
Oh, fuck.
They did Tuesday's Gone for Gary Rosington, who just passed a couple years back. They played like video stuff on the back for him, like they were showing videos of him, which was very cool. They didn't try any new things. I mean, it was Ooh That Smell, Call Me the Breeze,
Oh, I bet that was interesting with all
Class.
the going on.
Oh, it was just, and he was like very engaging with the crowd. I think he's always been that way. But they were having a good time up there, and the crowd was pretty into Skinner. And I think it was probably 50-50. I bet half of them were there to see Skid Row or Kid Rock, and the other half was there to
Yeah.
see Skinner, I think. So I was there to see Skinner more than anybody. So they're rolling along. They did like an hour and 15 minutes, but I think the best part was when they did their last song. And of course, they hadn't played Freebird. So you knew Freebird was coming. I think Sweet Home Alabama ended, and then they waited a couple minutes. And I didn't know what the hell they were trying to prove because everybody knew they were coming out to do Freebird, right? But it was pretty cool. I think they do it to sync up the what screens they have because they did during another song. They showed a bunch of videos of the people that died in the plane crash too,
Yeah.
because it's the 50-year anniversary for Leonard Skinner as a band.
Yeah.
So they were doing all kinds of stuff on the screens in the back for people that had passed or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they get to Freebird, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's in high anticipation. They're going to do this Freebird. They synced it up, which was very cool. I mean, a lot of people I know out there don't like AI at all. They don't care for it. But they synced it up to have an old version, an old video of when Ronnie sang Freebird. And they didn't show Johnny on the screen at all the whole song until the very end. And
Okay.
he was doing exactly, he was going in perfect tune with what Ronnie was doing on the screen.
Yeah.
He even threw in the "How About You" that he does on the live version. And I tell you what, it was so weird to see it that way, but it was like, dude's really. You just get lost in it for a minute. You think, fuck that dude. That's what it would look like if he was still alive. You know. And they didn't have it like altered to be old or anything like that, but it was pretty cool that he was that in sync with the live version they had recorded. He was singing it live. He was singing to what Ronnie was mouthing on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then, dude, they let that fucking solo at the end go. Jesus Christ. It was still as tight as it was
No shit.
50 years ago. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
That Ricky Medlock was just tearing shit up. And he's got to be 70s. He's got to be in the 70s. He's got to be close.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were just the girls, the backup singers were killing it. It was just one of I was expecting like a kind of tired, worn out kind of thing. No, you didn't get that. I mean, they were still. They still had some pep in their step, and the music was. I mean, it was perfect. It was on point to the point where it was like listening to a CD. It was that good.
Wow.
The voice was
Wow.
still solid from him and all that stuff. So yeah, they were definitely they won the day. They won the weekend, really.
Wow.
But
Wow.
Kid Rock is the next one to come out. And here I'm expecting a lot of I don't know what I think I expected a lot of talk. I mean a lot of like you know how he is. He talks about America and Trump and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was expecting a lot of that because they brand it as a concert for we the people. So it's like you knew everybody there was kind of going to be patriotic. They had themes
Yeah.
for each day. So like the second day was Stars and Stripes Day, but it also happened to be the day of the military parade we had. It also happened to be Flag Day. So
Yeah.
this day was kind of all centered around, what was going to happen. When Kid Rock comes out, at first they show like a 5 minute movie
Okay.
of different stuff, Kid Rock. But then they show, of course, they had to throw big DJ T up there. He did his little
Yeah.
private. He does it on every. It's like a pre-recorded thing. He does it for every concert or every festival these guys do.
Okay.
So it was kind of cool. I mean, it was got the crowd hyped up,
Yeah.
because you're in a section of the country that's over the top for Kid Rock anyway, because he's, Michigan kid.
Yeah.
So he does this little video after president's video. He does shows him doing different things and interviews where he just kind of blunt about shit. Crowd's going nuts. And he comes out, and that's where the pyro kicks in. He comes out, and there was like, oh, I don't know, fireworks. There was pyros on stage. There was fireworks going out behind the stage. There was smoke rolling everywhere. It was like, and it was like, yeah, it's a show. It was definitely a show. And it's like, it started out. I thought I'm not a huge Kid Rock fan, but I like what he's got a lot of energy for being. He's a pretty old guy now. He's what 50 probably. He's probably close to us,
Yeah.
but he's letting people have it out there. The band's good. A lot of theatrics going on. He's got like a stage. It's a pretty neat looking stage with a door in it and all this stuff. So he does starts out with most of the hits. He's doing he did Cowboy pretty quick,
Okay.
and he mixed that in with American Badass. He kind of joined those two together. So he also did he did Picture by him. He did it with another girl, a girl that sings on the stage. Then he just pulls out. I don't know why he pulls out Islands in the Stream and sings it with his drummer. Her drummer. But it sounded good. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
say it didn't sound good. But he's rolling through his hits basically. He's doing
Some all
he
summer
did
long. Did he do all summer
yeah,
long?
he did all summer long, about maybe halfway through, maybe a half hour in, something like that. He did that. And he did a couple little talks about being from Michigan and all that good stuff, which is no big deal. And he did God knows why. He did that a little bit weird. He did like a church kind of sounding thing. It was a little off for me, but I didn't, hate it. Then he quits. He stops. It's like an hour in, and it said an hour and 20 minutes, so I knew he was coming back out. And there was a couple songs I knew he hadn't played. So he comes back out in a different suit, a red, white, and blue, top hat, all that, and he
Yeah.
does "Born Free" at
Yeah.
that point,
Okay.
which was pretty cool. Then he rips into "We the People," the song "We the People," and
Okay.
there's a lot of shit going on then, man. I mean, bam, 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 fireworks everywhere, just chaos. The crowd's freaking the hell out. It's like it went off at that point. Then of course he he stops that. Everything goes black, and you start hearing like this like tribal drum beat. I'm like, what's going on with this? It's like it just starts building up, building up, building up, and it's dark. He comes popping out, and he just looks around the crowd for a minute. Everybody's screaming, and then we're waiting, and he goes, of course he does. My name is Kid. So
Bow with the bow.
yeah, bow with the bow, bang a bang, diggy diggy, and it was like I don't know. I didn't get the all right about the. I didn't get that with that for some reason. It was weird because I always liked that song in the past. I guess I was just thinking that was going to be the opener. I really did. I
Yeah,
thought that would
that would
open
have
it,
been a good
and
opener. Yeah.
yeah, I would have thought he was going to open with that, and Ball with the Ball would have been first, and We the People would have been last at that kind of festival. But no, it wasn't. So, but I mean, he did respectable, but there was times in there it was like almost like a church service, just the music and stuff. It was weird.
Okay.
And he also did a part where he was playing with this fiddle player. He picked up a saxophone and started playing the saxophone. It's like, okay, this guy knows how to play it. A bunch of it. He ended up seeing a sign in the crowd that said, "It's my first Kid Rock concert." Like maybe a 5, 8 year old girl, something like that, standing on her dad's shoulders. Oh, he just walks over and hands it to her. Said, "There you go." Damn, she's got a free saxophone out of the deal. Then he started this people randomly coming up. He was signing shit right there on the stage.
During the
Like,
fucking
okay.
show.
Yeah. It's like there wasn't even any music playing. He
I don't give a
stopped
fuck. All right.
to give that saxophone away. And then he said, "Oh, you got something? Okay, you got something." It's like he gave himself a little 5 minute break. It's like, okay, dude. But then he started playing like drums. He wanted to play drums, so he talked about another Michigan person. He's like, we're gonna love our people in Michigan here. So he plays grabs the guitar first, I should say. Grabs the guitar, starts playing Cat Scratch Fever on the guitar. Then he goes into like a stranglehold part on the guitar.
Okay.
And then he talks about Detroit, being Motown. So they start doing like a Motown kind of sounding song.
Yeah.
He goes up and the drummer's up there playing, and she gets out of her chair and keeps the beat going as she's moving. And he plops his butt down and starts playing on the drums to play. And they did. I can't for the life of me remember now. It was like a Motown song they played, but he played it on the drums, and it was pretty cool. I mean, so he was making his way all around the stage and stuff. So it's like it was a pretty cool show, but yeah, he couldn't compare to Skinner for me. I just and a lot of people in the VIP and stuff were there for him because he's a hero in Michigan.
Yeah.
So it was like a well-rounded festival. I mean, really, when you think about it, it had some old country like Sammy Kershaw was there, Mark
Okay.
Chestnut was there. So you had some of the old school guys. And then you had some of these new kids, and you had a couple rap groups, and you had Afro Man, and you had, there's a big melting pot, and you had, of course, your rock was Nickelback, Leonard Skinner, and see, I don't know what Nickelback's. That's the one that kind of loses me. Why Nickelback's on that tour? Because I can understand the rap groups. I can understand country for Kid Rock. I can understand Leonard Skinner for the Southern rock. But where's Nickelback pop into that? That was the only thing that kind of baffled me. Was like, okay, I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I was all a That was a hell of a diverse festival for 2 days. It's like, yeah, I mean, it was neat and all that stuff, but I didn't get the whole Nickelback thing. But they were good. I'm not mad at it, at all. So yeah, it was a pretty good festival. My everybody was trash when we got ready to leave. And what was about a 10-minute get out the first night was 2.5 hours the second night. So yeah, the parking was not to be desired in that place. Of course, they don't handle this stuff on a rare basis. And this is the first time I think it's ever been there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't fault them, and I wasn't. My wife was driving, so she's like, "Just don't plan on being in a hurry." I'm like, "Okay." So got out there and drove the 45 minutes home, and by then I had realized I was burnt fucking toast. I was in trouble at that point, and I knew
Yeah.
it. I just knew it when I couldn't sleep. And there's a part on my leg that I'm pretty sure is sun poisoned because it's not gone down any. The rest of me tanned up, which is fine. But boy, yeah, it was a hot one. Outdoor festival, yeah. And the bad thing was, I didn't wear a coat the first night because I didn't think about it being that cold. So the second night, I said, it's going to be sunny today. So I was like, I don't need a coat. I don't need a hoodie or nothing. Well, that would have been fine, except when you get sunburnt to a crisp and the sun goes down and the
You're
wind
freezing.
the wind hurts your skin, it's a bad day. But I mean, I was shaking, like literally shaking. I was so cold.
Oh my
But there wasn't
god.
no way I was going to leave early. There
Yeah.
ain't no way. I'm here for the duration. I wanted, and I knocked a couple off my bucket list. Nickelback, just a curiosity to see, and definitely Leonard Skinner. I'd been waiting for that one for a long time, long,
Okay.
long time. So I had never seen Leonard Skinner, so it was a big thing. Um, Never seen the Nickelback or Kid Rock, but I didn't know all their songs like I do Leonard Skinner. So
Yeah.
definitely Leonard Skinner victory for me for the weekend. Different kind of a festival. Man, I'd be hard pressed to go back though. I think I'll stick to our little hick one here in our own community. It's a
There
little
you go.
closer. I mean, it was nice though. I mean, having the lawn chairs and stuff with you kind of what you talked about. You can have those in the VIP section, but they got a limit of how many people can have it. It was a madhouse. They finally
Wow.
started letting them in by the stage and everything. They had no choice. Everybody brought their chair.
Yeah.
Well, it's like it is what it is. So yeah, it's an experience. I got to try it. Not a bad weekend. It was painful at one point, but
Yeah.
sketchy at nights.
Yeah.
But I'll live with it. So
So what's the grade? Let's grade this show.
on the music, I'm gonna say a solid a solid B plus because everybody
Okay.
sounded good. Everybody sounded good. The festival itself, maybe a B minus C plus area,
Okay.
just because it is quite the hassle to get in and out. I should have bought the camping and just done that, but I didn't want to rent a camper in Michigan, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know that it would have been a lot. It would be no. I'm very thankful for our country concert here now. If I
Okay.
want to see some country people, that's what I'll do every year. I'll just go
Gotcha.
over there. But the diversity pushes it up to probably a B. I'd say it's gonna be minus, just
Okay.
because of all the different bands and it did sound good. The sound was really well. You could see really well. And I mean, the merch tent was pretty close. Food was pretty close. Yeah, I give it a B. I give it a B minus.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you had a lot going on there, bub.
Yeah, yeah. My festival life is winding down, and I got a couple left, and then it'll probably just be the one a year for the wife. Not even for me. But I mean, 2 days of that was brutal. I got 4 days coming in a couple months.
Yeah.
But different scenarios, so we'll see. But yeah,
Okay.
it's a once in a lifetime gig, and it's like gotta see what it's like, and You never know. If the opportunity came in a small town around here, maybe I would go back. Not going
Gotcha.
4 hours away. Not going 4 hours away to do it. So
All right. Well, Mikey, I think that kind of sums up our concert reviews for June. I mean, that was the big
yeah,
ones, right?
yeah. I don't think there's any more in June for me. I got what two or three in July, and then August I got one, and then September I got the festival. So that's all I have right now. So if
All
any
right.
more pop up, we'll surely let you know.
Yeah, I think we'll have to do a July concert reviews. That's kind of our thing during the summers. Is kind of hitting shows while the weather's good and all that stuff. So everybody
Yeah,
out there,
yeah,
keep an eye open. So we'll whatever kind of stuff we've got going on in July, we're gonna come back and do a July concert reviews and get everybody updated. So
yep.
you ready to wrap
I
us
will.
up, Mikey?
Yep.
Uh,
Can.
all right. This is Skeet.
Mush and Mikey.
See ya.
Peace out.